Welcome back, everybody. This is Sin, and we're here with the tricky to drive M6 GT3. Known for twitchy steering, peaky turbos, and really funky rear wheel drive. Let's set this modern day Group 8 car for a few laps here at the Spielburg Circuit. I personally like Spielberg. I think Spielberg is a really cool track. I believe it's a Red Bull Ring copy. I'm not sure, but it's a really cool track. Really forces you to drive a certain type of way. All right, track's loaded up. And we're gonna adjust a few things here. Oh, wait. All right, so we're gonna adjust a few things here. We're gonna try to initiate understeer in the setup to account for the razor sharp steering ratio this big car has. We're gonna lower the front end to decrease pitch during braking and slightly soften the spring rate as well to give us a little bit of articulation. Let's just get this all set up here. Also, we're going to turn the boost down just a smidge. And that should be all the adjustments we have to make. And in the seat we go. Excuse me for the lag. I'm here with a steering wheel. And I present to you the cockpit of the M6. As we pull out the pits, we're underway with our 10-minute hot lap session. In 10 minutes, you guys will see a theme. I noticed that 10 minutes is the perfect amount of time to get a car really up in temperature with the brakes and the tires. You can tell by our tire model as we come down the main straight for our full untimed lap. This car is very peaky. The boost on it is very peaky. It's like all motor and then the turbos kick in and man, oh man, it becomes a rocket. Coming down this back section here, after that uphill, is slightly downhill, so it puts a little extra stress on the brakes, but that's okay. We got to get everything up to temperature before we start our time lap. This left hand is blind. It always gets me. It always gets me. I'm gonna ride this curve into this little small braking zone. Look at these S's. As we come down the back straight into the last two corners to start our first time lap. As you guys can see from the tire model, all our brakes, all our tires are up to temp. Let's race. Start our first time lap. We go up the hill. Heavy braking. Turn in. As you see, it gets a little squirrely there. I have the traction control turned up for this, just to induce a little understeer to keep it from being all over the place. Whoa, 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 a little squirrely there. Ooh. I think that's because of the slow speed in the lift and a bit of transitional oversteer, but no biggie, we'll iron it out and we'll keep tracking. Softening the front really helps with the curve. The front doesn't get all out of shape, as you guys can see, as we come around this double apex into the blind left-hander. Touching roughly curve there, and here we go, we'll straddle this curve again, as you see. No drama, no business. Over the other curve and down the back straight. Into the final two corners. We slightly touch that curve. We touch the curve on the inside and down the front straight. I think the M6 gets a reputation because of the steering. Though it is precise, it really does reward smooth handling and patience. You have to be very patient with this car. As you see, the boost is not progressive. The boost is very peaky. I hope everybody's enjoying this SteamDeck sim racing series. I've definitely been enjoying it, taking various different cars around different tracks, showing you guys that sim racing on the SteamDeck is possible. If you didn't check our first video, link will be in the description, where we take the JCW Mini Cooper and we romp around for 15 laps with 12 other drivers at Costco. That was a pretty interesting video. It was a pretty interesting race too. I think you guys should check that out. Link will be in the description. So we're coming up on these last couple of corners again, and car's feeling more and more planted. With this being a heavier GT3 car, basically, the harder you drive it, the hotter the tires get, the more adhesion you get, which allows you to push it a little harder in the corners. You do a little brake bias adjustment here after I come out of this corner. I noticed that if you play with the brake bias back and forth, sometimes you can find a happy medium as the tires wear down evenly if you have your pressure set correct. Some notes here. I am playing on a Logitech G920. I am playing on a SteamDeck. Some car characteristics and feel here. The boost is extremely peaky. It's all motor, and then you get this insatiable wave of torque and horsepower, which, if handled like a novice, coincides with the M6's tricky nature. I think that if I spent more time with it, I would be more adept at driving it. It is a fun experience. It does require you to be awake. You have to be awake when you drive this car, no matter how you have it set up. But I think somewhere out there is a neutral setup that can and will allow you to push this car very, very hard. I've seen these cars on the leaderboard with some insane alien time, so I'm aware that someone or something has figured out the M6 and a good way to get it around the track. To me, it feels more like a momentum car. It's one of those, as you drive, the car creates a groove. As the groove gets set, the car feels better. And This is why when you see them in real life, and even when you're driving them on the track in the game, when the groove is upset, it can cause monumentous problems, and sometimes even complete race retirement and failure. Because once the groove is upset, it's hard to reset the car back on the groove. I believe with a lot of proper tuning, a lot of the switchy dynamic can be averted. A lot of it, I feel, is in the steering lock, the brake bias, the tire pressures, and the suspension damper. Those areas, if they could be assessed with care and massage, the M6 GT3 is an extremely formidable car. It reminds me a lot of the R35 GTR, as it has a lot of horsepower, it's a heavier car, it takes a bit more coercing to get it through the corners, but it is a fun experience when it finally warms up and it allows you to pilot it. As we all know, the M6 is a very big car, even though it's a coupe, it's a big car. As is the GTR, it's a big car, even though it's a coupe. Got a lot of shape there. If you overcook the brakes, it will overshoot the apex. But like I said, it's a big car, and even though it's in GT3 guys, it's still got some weight to it. So you have to respect the brakes. And I will say that not just the braking bias in this car, but the braking power. I think the brakes are extremely good. Good is an understatement. It really scrubs speed off at an exponential rate. If you can see the numbers, with just half the pedal pressed, it'll cut 60 miles an hour in a matter of seconds, you know. And with the engine being as peaky and as powerful as it is, it will get back up to speed. So all of that combined with the super sharp steering, I could see why it would make a formidable opponent to drive. Leave your comments below. Tell us if you've had any good or bad experiences with the M6 GT3, not just in Automobilista, but in ACC or any other game that it's currently available to drive and race. I think that it gets an unfair rap. I just think it needs a little bit of patience to drive. Let's have a conversation really quick. If I told you 10 years ago that we would be able to sim race on handheld gaming PCs or handheld gaming consoles, would you believe me? If I showed you this video and told you that it was recorded off of a handheld device, would you believe me? In part, this series is put together to show people that your SteamDeck can be used as a sim racing rig. It can be competitive with some graphics tweaks and network tweaks, but for people that do like to just hot lap and enjoy driving around the track in one of their favorite Formula One cars or big cars or B cars, it is immensely possible. I do it on a regular basis. You see, we're here on lap 6, and if you look at our tire model, everything is green, everything is in the green, everything's optimal. And as you see, if you check our time leaderboard, they're all green, which means that the car is adhering better, and we're creating and generating faster lap times, lap over lap. We're gonna do a switch here. All right, guys, we got the external cam going, and here's our M6 GT3 in all its glory. So we're gonna take this time to get around the track, and we're gonna do a full timed lap, because obviously, as you see, our lap here is in the red, and it's going to be invalidated because I slowed down. I want to say that. Do you guys see these graphics? This is on a handheld console. It's on a handheld device. This is amazing. Though it's being projected through a television, this is being processed and directly gained on a handheld device and a dock. It's anything short of amazing. Listen to the sounds. Let's listen to the sounds, everybody. That's our time lap, and we're gonna begin. Composed over that curve there. You guys see that? Just a little wiggle. No drama. As we approach the uphill apex, we once again clip the apex, only this time with a bit of understeer, and the traction control pushes the car slightly wide. As we come out down into the double apex. A bit of understeer again, but nothing some throttle can't fix. Down the track into the blind, downhill left-hander. Little gas. We straddle the curves. Into the S's. Little curb touch there. Little curb straddle. Down into the final straight. I really want to thank everybody for hanging out with us and showing support for our SteamDeck Racing Rig series. And shout out to Razer Studios for Automobilista. Shout out to Valve for the SteamDeck. We're gonna jump back here. And here's our replay lap. So let's watch it with no line, no interference, nothing on the screen. This is our previous lap that we just completed. The sound fidelity, the graphics, the composition, the track feel, for this to be played via handheld in a full Logitech G920 setup, that's wheel, pedals, and shifter, and a play seat, Stradale seat. This is amazing. I don't think anyone could have predicted that handheld gaming would take this route. I really don't. And here is an M6 going around Spielburg as living, driving proof that yes, you can sim race on your SteamDeck. Yes, you can be competitive. Yes, it will look good. Yes, it will sound good. Will it take some tinkering? Always. It's Linux, guys. However, as we make this final turn down to the front straight, I leave you with this note. Check our previous video, link in the description. Link in the description. Check our previous video where we can show you where you can race on the track with 12 people. We're gonna retire here to the pit box. This is Sin. This is Auto Brain Tuning. We appreciate you guys. Like, share, subscribe. We're out.